Okay, well, we are live. I don't know. I don't hear AJ, even though he's there. Maybe he's having issues again. But hello. There you go. Hi,
I
AJ.
forgot. I forgot to add myself to the stage.
That's okay.
Welcome, everyone.
I was waiting for you to do that, so I didn't say anything at first. But hello, everyone. Tonight we have. Whoa, I did not open the right thing. Tonight we have some new stuff, but Karen's not here. Obviously, she'll be back next week. But we have Doctor Who to talk about finally, and the end of Dead Boy Detectives, and then Interview with the Vampire, which also premiered this week. So, well, why don't you want to start? Because I'm usually the one who starts all the Doctor Who stuff. So, since this is new for you this time, talking about it, why don't you tell me what you
Uh,
think? When tweeting everybody to make sure they show up.
do. Doctor Who. Um, so I already have theories, but that's besides the point. The Space Babies episode was cute and fun. I thought
Whoop, where'd you go? You disappeared. You went quiet. AJ and his phone problems. AJ. I wonder if he even knows he's muted. Give me 1 second. Let me text him so he knows. And I can tell him and say, AJ, you're muted. I don't know. He must not be able to hear me. Okay, well, I guess I will start, and I will say that number one, you can read my Doctor Who interview on sci-fivision.com. And hi, Ark, welcome. Um, so I guess I can talk a little bit about a couple things first while we're waiting. I did want to mention, might as well mention it now while he disconnected. He's coming back. I'll mention a couple things while we're waiting for AJ. Um, there's been quite a few things on the site that have gone up. Some of the dark matter interviews with Jennifer Connelly and with Blake Crouch and showrunner Matt Tolmach, and also Reginald the Vampire. That stuff has gone up. And also, I should mention, for anybody who knows the site, knows that off and on recently we've had issues, and the site went down for a few days. Long story short, my website provider, who hopefully I will be leaving soon and finding a better place, decided it would be a good idea to migrate my server without bothering to tell me. But that has all been fixed, and actually the site now is working better than ever. So at least until we find a better place to go, it is actually really fast now, which is awesome. But those interviews, some of them are up, and there's more from both of those shows coming as well. But because of some spoilers, some of them are not up yet. They'll be a little bit slower rolling out. And then the other things that are coming, I kind of had mentioned before, like Outer Range is still on the way. And also, I just talked to Jane Seymour the other day for Harry Wild. So that will be going up within the next couple days. So those are kind of my site updates. And AJ is still not here. Hopefully, when he returns, at least he won't sound like a Cylon like we had the issues before. But because, as you can tell, I'm very bad at talking by myself. I ramble and I don't know what to say. So hopefully, he got my message and he will come back. And in the meantime, I guess I can jump right into it and tell what I think. I just kind of wanted to hear from AJ first, just because usually me and Karen talk about it, so it was kind of a nice change, but I can start a little bit. Obviously, the first two episodes premiered. Although they confused some people because are calling them episode 2 and 3 from this season, because they're considering the Church on Ruby Road to be the premiere, which was actually the Christmas episode, which already aired. And I see after I even tweeted that, my tweet did not go out, but there and now it did. Um, so actually it was technically episode 2 and 3. They're kind of reordering things and saying it's a new series and everything. I think just because it moved to Disney, but the both of those were on, and you know, I actually think, and this is funny because usually I give such, I think a lot of times glowing reviews to Doctor Who when other people don't. I think I actually, some of the stuff, I don't know. I wonder if mine was a little more negative than a lot of the ones that I've seen anyway. Not that I didn't love both the episodes. I did. Um, I just, there were certain things that I don't know irritated me about these, mainly space babies. And talk to AJ more when he shows up. Whoop, there's AJ. His power went out. Okay, well, hopefully he will be here in a minute. We'll just cross our fingers that he'll be able to get his phone back. But I did like both the episodes, and I love and Shooty. I hope I'm saying his name right. As the Doctor, I think he's awesome. I think he's funny and he's got a lot of energy. But Space Babies annoyed me. The thing that annoyed me were the talking babies, and I guess it didn't annoy other people as much. But all I kept thinking about were the E-Trade commercials, and it was driving me nuts because let's be honest, the animation for the babies talking was not the best, and granted, some things in Doctor Who are a little hokey, and that's okay, and it was funny and it was silly, and I didn't, as I got into it, enjoy it. I just at the beginning I was kind of like, this is a bit much. Um, but the other thing, I feel like I'm gonna have to repeat a lot of this once AJ shows up. But a lot of the things that the other kind of thing I wondered about was the Doctor acting a bit different, and I'm kind of right now giving it a little bit of leeway because the Doctor did bigenerate, and they kind of made the comment before that a lot of his pain and that was in Tennant's Doctor, and that he split off, so some of that was left behind. So some of the stuff that's a little different I can kind of forgive, but I'm curious to see where they go, because one of the things that I always look for when they bring a new Doctor is trying to see them kind of emulating the old Doctor for a little bit at the beginning. I like to see that because then you feel like it's the same character, and that is kind of really my only made negative about Shooty, is I did not see Tennant's Doctor in it. But I again, I don't know that you necessarily have to, because you can say, well, he split off from him and he's not part of him anymore. Am I just giving excuses? I don't know. Like I said, I want to see how it goes. But regardless of that, I do really like him as the Doctor a lot. I just was a little surprised because he kept running away from everything. And like, I understand in the first episode, Space Babies, when he did, because they make the comment that the creature, the whole point is to evoke fear, and that was why he got scared and ran away. But he kind of did the same thing with the Maestro, and I miss the part of where the Doctor is usually like, trying to reason with the villain, trying to save the villain. Like, it doesn't work, but it's just what he does. And he kind of got scared right away and ran away. And yeah, I know it has to do with the giggle and the other storyline and everything. But for the first thing out of the gate, I don't know. It just seemed a little bit off to me. But overall, I really like them. I'm trying to look here at my review to make sure I get everything in here that I had talked about. Again, you can read this on there to see more details. But I also like Ruby, although I like during the Christmas special. I think that they have good chemistry together. And the one thing me and Karen had talked about, and since she's in here, I will say this because I kind of agreed with her, is we were saying how she's a little quick to trust him and be like, you take care of things, you save people and all this, because she really doesn't seem to know him very well. So that kind of goes in with it, I guess, maybe feeling a bit different this time in my, point of view. Um, I I know some people. I tried to read some different things people said online because I was curious what other people saw after I posted my review. I went to read what people said, um, and I know some people complained that they did a lot of kind of re-explaining everything, since they're making this a quote unquote new series on Disney and giving more backstory. I didn't feel like that was really detrimental. I like when they kind of go through things because I think with a new companion and that it makes sense that, she's learning who the doctor is. And granted, we did have one episode already, but I don't know. I liked there's AJ. He's back. Hello.
I'm sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, I know you said the electric went out. That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear any of what I said? 'Cause I don't.
No, I heard nothing.
Okay, well, I'll really quick get to the points I said and see if you agree, and then you can tell me what you thought, and I'll finish. I was saying how Space Babies really annoyed me with the talking babies because I kept thinking of the stupid E-Trade commercials, and it drove me nuts.
Oh God, that's fine.
I don't know. It was funny, but it was like annoyingly funny to me. The talking babies. Did I take it though? You didn't feel that way. Most people, I don't think, did. It doesn't
It
look
didn't.
like.
It didn't really bother me that much. I got a kick out of the Boogie Monster literally being a
The
Boogie Monster.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And
I
then
think
and then when
the best part
and
of
then,
that was when he laughed at her. Now I was
Yeah.
gonna say when he keeps laughing, she's covered in snot.
yeah, and
Sorry,
then
go ahead.
yeah, that was pretty funny too. And the back end of the station looked like a butt when it let out the methane gases to propel them.
Yeah, definitely silly
One
things.
thing that occurred to me was that the doctor, he's running and he's like, why am I running? I never run. He's like, I'm fascinated by everything. I never run. And I started thinking about it, especially with the next episode also, because it's a whole new set of rules now with the bi-generation. So I feel like that because they split, that I think he's going to be more emphatic in some emotions than others. Like he's not going to be like, each doctor is their own personality and their own person and everything, but they're still the doctor at the core. I feel like he's going to have more emotions in one area than another necessarily because of the split. It's like I don't think they split evenly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is that I don't know if I'm giving an excuse for it, but I feel like I don't really see a lot of the other doctor in him. And I was saying how I like in the new doctor, you can always see the old doctor. And I can kind of give it a pass because that part of him is gone in a sense. But I'm missing some of that. And like the fact that he ran from the maestro surprised me. And I wanted him to be like trying to argue with him, trying to argue with them, trying to reason with them, trying to save them like he does with all the villains. It never works, but it's just kind of what they do.
Yeah.
And I missed that a little bit, but that was really my only negative. I really like Shooty. I think he's great.
Oh God, he's great. He's amazing.
I think these episodes were fun. The only other negative that I really had about the two episodes was the dance number at the end of the second episode because it had no point. Like it was funny and it was great and I enjoyed it, but like why?
It felt out of place.
It didn't fit. Right, exactly.
It just didn't quite fit. Yeah, I mean, the second episode was great. Jinx was amazing.
Yeah.
There was no scenery left because they chewed every piece.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about. I mean, I feel like the whole theme of the season is going to have something to do with the Pantheon and with the Maestro and what's his face there.
Neil Patrick Harris, you mean?
Yeah, what's his heck?
Toy Maker.
Toy Maker. Wow, couldn't think Toy Maker. I was just kind of surprised they really it's funny because they kind of jumped right into it, it was a fun episode.
Expect that, sure.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays with darker episodes. Like the next episode looks like it's gonna be a much darker episode and not quite as much fun. My biggest problem with this episode was John Lennon and Paul McCartney casting. I felt like it is probably some of the worst casting I've ever seen for those two, and they've been cast in a lot of different things, and it might be the worst I've ever seen. It kind of pulled me out, especially Paul. The guy that was playing Paul really pulled me out of it.
Yeah. Well, the episode was supposed to be silly, so it's hard to tell how much of it. But yeah, I kind of agree. It didn't really.
Yeah.
It didn't really fit.
I mean, they really put a lot things into this episode. Like I'm sure you enjoyed it too. The piano intro.
Yeah, how it became the theme song.
That was fun.
That was awesome.
Now, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know how I noticed, but I found myself thinking about Rory in the episode because when they were on the roof, there was a poster or a billboard or something that said "The one who waits."
Oh yeah,
And that,
yeah, that definitely makes me think of Amy and Rory, but that's
yeah,
whatever villain is coming
but
because they
that's what
did
I,
do
yeah,
that.
that's because Toymaker after I thought about it, like it immediately made me think of Rory, but then I remembered what the Toymaker had said.
Yeah,
And then Maestro mentions the Elder One.
yeah.
Um,
There's definitely a big bad.
yeah,
Coming.
there's all kinds of stuff going on here. I mean, he's definitely going to be a different type of doctor. But you're right. I do want to see the other doctors in him too. You
Yeah.
know, like actually for me, it took a minute with Capaldi for me to. I felt like I was like, wow, he went from Matt
Well,
Smith's
yeah. He
kookiness
also
to
lost his
being
memory at the beginning
to
for
being a
so.
complete jerk. Like he was the biggest jerk of any of the doctors. I warmed up to him. He was all right after a while.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at first I was like, what the hell?
No, yeah, I was the same because I remember talking about him on the show and being like, I don't like this doctor, and then he ends up being my favorite doctor. So clearly, sometimes it just takes a little bit.
Yeah.
But he had lost his memory, so it was okay.
And
But
it's funny because I know a lot of people didn't like Jodie Whittaker. I liked her right away. I thought Jodie Whittaker, and she was a different kind of doctor, you know. She was kind of she was probably definitely the most optimistic of all the doctors.
yeah,
She always had a very positive spin. So I think Shuchi is just a continuation of that type of theme.
yeah,
I mean, he's really, you know, he embellishes pretty much everything he does. So it'll be interesting. I also feel like, you know, I mean, it all depends on how Davies writes it too, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I was saying the one thing I want to ask you because I was saying this right, I think right when you came in, is did it because some people I was reading some social media and some people were kind of annoyed how they had a lot of the re-explaining the lore again, and that's because they're going making it like a new series on Disney, so they're kind of shoving it in there. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it mattered, and I actually like a lot of that when they do that because like the companions learning about
well, well,
so
that's
it
what it
doesn't
is.
bother
I
me.
mean,
It works for me. They do that a lot. I mean, they do that every time there's a new companion to some extent.
exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. Every time there's a new companion, the thing that felt disjointed about this though is other companions. It feels like they've gradually found things out because of a situation.
Yeah, she was kind of thrown into it.
He kind of just like told her everything, you
Yeah.
know, and it was just like and I think that's what made it a little difficult to swallow in some aspects because
And
instead of
yeah.
it kind of trickling down, it was like one piece of exposition. You know, I mean, it was too much at one time. You know, like when he said the thing about the two hearts, that made sense at the time. But when they were in the ship and he unloaded a bunch of stuff, I was kind of like, okay, that's it was kind of overkill. They kind of rushed through it almost. I felt like, but I did like when they were on the roof, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "My granddaughter and I are over there in the junkyard," which I thought was really cool because I'm currently watching that doctor, so I knew exactly what he was talking about with
The
Susan.
first Doctor, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the first
watched the
Doctor.
beginning of that. I got to watch more of that. Yeah, I don't know. See, I like that they did it, but it did seem the thing to me is I wonder if there's a reason for the whole Susan discussion. People have been, what is that?
Sorry.
That is Phantom of the Opera. That is
Yes.
that is not Doctor Who. That is Phantom of the Opera. What was I saying? Oh, I know, because people are questioning if there's like a connection and if they're going to have Susan on or if maybe she's related to Susan or whatever. So there's like all these theories going on all over the place. But I don't think we'll really, know any of that till it gets a bit closer. I did like the one thing I did want to mention, and I didn't even put this in my review. I was just thinking of it now as I was saying it. I talked about how he ran away and everything, and he was scared of the Maestro. But I did like that his Sonic, like he couldn't just use it to fix everything, and like how he even said he can only trick him once, and then like it didn't work again, because sometimes. I mean, with this show, sometimes it is a little too easy. We lost AJ again. I think the Phantom took him away. I don't know what happened. I guess he's having electricity problems, but we'll wait till he comes back. Let me see if there's anything else specific that I can talk about while we're waiting. I'm looking at my review because I hate to go on. I know we're not done talking about it. Um, I actually thought, whoa, what happened? I just heard a beep. There he goes. You're back. Hello.
Yeah, I'm back. I probably didn't lose power again. There was just some kind of
Oh,
little
you
blip
didn't.
though, and it kicked me
Oh,
off the
okay.
internet
You
for a
just
minute.
disappeared all of a sudden. Yeah.
Yeah, it kicked me off the internet.
And now I lost track of what we were saying completely.
Uh,
Oh, about Susan. I was saying
yeah.
that people have, their theories going around that maybe she's related to her or she's her daughter or something. I don't know. I mean, I think people are reaching, but you never know with this show. But you know what I think's funny? I actually thought, I know that the second episode was like campy, but I actually kind of thought the first one was more silly than the second one. I don't know if people agree with that because I don't know that it was supposed to be or not, but I don't know. Like I found the first one to be like overly silly, and maybe it was just because, like I said, the babies annoyed me. Where I thought like the second one, a lot of it was more serious, and it did have the camp, and the maestro was over the top, but in a great way. But yeah, I don't know. I found some of that to be more serious, but I was just saying I like how he couldn't keep. He made a point that he couldn't trick the maestro again with the same. That was what I was saying with the same thing, and like his sonic wouldn't work in order to battle him. So that was kind of cool. I did like that. Um, Trying to think what else. See, I don't really know a lot about the Beatles, so I probably missed a lot of the jokes that were there. I mean, like I know Abbey Road and everything, but a lot of it probably went over my head if I'm honest, because I just don't know a lot about the Beatles. But yeah, I liked the way that, I mean, I overall liked it. I just, my only big gripe was just the babies. Everything else was pretty funny. And like I said, I think my favorite scene was when he was laughing at Ruby when she was covered with snot, because it wasn't just that she
That was
it's the
funny.
fact that she's grossed out and he's still standing there laughing at her because he just like still finds it funny even though she doesn't. I enjoyed that. I also liked that when he told her to go off with what's her name? I want to say Rosalind. That's not the right name though. Jocelyn, I think. Um, when he told her to go off, that like she went with him anyway and refused to leave. That kind of made me think of like Claire or somebody, and I like that she's kind of not going to just do everything she does. So I did like that too.
I do feel though that she's a little too trusting too quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that was what I was talking to Karen about. She was saying how like she's already like, oh, the doctor's great and everything, and she barely knows him, which is totally
Yeah.
true and a valid point. Um, but yeah, so what do you guys think? Well, if you're listening to us live and whether you're on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, if you post comments, we see them live and we'd love to know what you think or what you thought about the episode, both the episodes actually. Now next week, I think, I don't know if it's written and directed by or just written by, but Moffat's episode is, I believe, the next one.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, so I'm curious to see how that goes. That probably means it should be good. I do agree. The preview made it sound like it was a more serious one, which
It's
I
called
think
Boom.
yeah, Boom, which I think will be nice and like a nice change. Not that I don't like the silly, but I also like to, see something with a little more depth in it with Doctor Who sometimes too.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
that'll be good.
Oh, my theory. I think because of all the timey-wimey, I think that Ruby drops herself off at the church.
Yeah, I kind of wondered
That's my
that too.
theory.
Oh, that does remind me though. That was the one thing that was a little wonky that I'm not 100% sure of. But to be fair, Doctor Who's kind of done this and showed both ends of this before. He makes a point of saying, we're not going back. We can't go back. It could cause a paradox, blah, blah, blah. But he's clearly done that multiple times.
We know.
So, yeah.
First rule of Doctor Who is break the rules.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, so I don't know if him making it like when they're trying to explain it to new viewers and saying this is a rule when it's not really a rule. I'm not sure how I feel about that because he did the same thing with Rose, and you know how that turned
Well,
out.
it's actually funny. That always annoyed me because, like, with Rose, he like flipped that. He's like, "Don't touch your baby self." And then, a couple seasons later, we got Amy running around with Amelia, holding
Yeah,
hands. So
yeah. So but I guess more the point is he's saying we're not going there, and maybe they just don't want you to expect it. I don't know.
well, you're definitely
But
gonna
yeah,
expect it when you emphatically say, "Don't go there."
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's fair. But yeah, I kind of wondered if that was her as well in the
I think it
future.
is.
I
I
think
could
it
be wrong,
definitely
but
could be. I also want to know if there's anything, if that woman from, I don't know if you remember from the Christmas special, if she's going to come back, the one that saw the TARDIS. Um, it was
oh yeah, the old
where they
woman.
sort
Yeah, I
of
don't know.
broke the fourth wall. Yeah, that was,
Did that a couple times
and I
in
think it
these
was
two
more just to be
episodes.
funny, but yeah, but
Well,
like,
he broke the fourth wall once, and also, hey, we might get a Star Trek episode.
oh really? Why?
Well,
What was the
well,
reference I missed? Because I don't watch Star Trek.
because I forget exactly what he said, but she said something about Star Trek, and
Oh,
he's
yeah, I
like,
do remember that.
yeah, and he said, I know them or something like that. Because in the comics, there's been a crossover between Doctor Who and Star Trek.
Mm. In Star Trek comics, you mean? Or have you read the
Yeah,
Doctor
well,
Who
there's Doctor Who comics too.
No, there is. That's why I was asking. I haven't read
There was a crossover between the two of them.
Oh,
So
okay, cool.
maybe
Yeah,
it was a fun shout out. Maybe we get some kind of quirky episode. Who knows with Doctor Who? But anyway,
yeah, that could be cool. I was gonna say I did like the whole musicy aspect
yeah,
of the second one. I liked how they had Ruby sing and stuff too. That was cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, it worked. Like I said, I really did like them. I do want to do a second viewing to see if I feel any differently. Like I feel like the babies might not annoy me as much the second time. Oh, I know there was one thing I wanted to discuss with you, and I was actually talking about this with somebody on Twitter because I thought it was very vague to me. I had thought that the space babies were supposed to be that they were adults stuck in the baby's body, but then that woman Jocelyn, whatever her name was, she made a point of saying she was there for 6 years. So are they just supposed
right.
to be 6-year-olds in babies' bodies? I guess, but it was sort
They're
of
they're
unclear.
not adults in babies' bodies. They don't age for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't. If they explained it, I missed it. But yeah, they're not actually babies. They're still in baby bodies, and I think it has something to do with being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That she was saying. She did
Yeah.
explain it, but I didn't.
Well,
I'll
she
be
said
honest, I didn't
she
pay enough
was there
attention.
6 years, so
Right.
I assume that they're 6 years old, which actually makes more sense because they did still sort of act like kids, even though they weren't
Right.
supposed to be babies. So that
Yeah.
makes slightly more sense. Oh, the other thing is, should we talk about sort of the social commentary part of this?
No.
No, no. You're just like no.
Nope. That's not our show. I mean, we know exactly what they're implying. Lots of people know whether we're talking about the show, not the. I mean, if you want to say something about it, you can go right
No,
ahead.
it's just usually me and Karen do. It's fine. And no, I didn't mean the whole overall thing. I just meant more about the whole they're not it's illegal to turn off the birthing machine and all
Yeah, I
that.
know what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're taking
Well, there was a
jabs.
lot of that in Doctor Who. I mean, there
Well,
was
yeah,
a lot
fair.
in Jodie's seasons. We got quite a
Well, I
lot
mean,
of
Doctor Who has always kind of had what's the word I'm looking for? Morals of the story.
yeah. As long as they don't get too overly preachy with it, then
Yeah.
it's okay. I just will have to wait and see. But I didn't even, when I watched it the first time, I didn't even, for whatever reason, was dumb and didn't even pick up on that. So yeah, I guess it wasn't too intrusive. But yeah, oh, I know the one thing I was going to say that kind of was out of place that was funny was the whole butterfly effect
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was saying before I went off before my
Oh,
power
okay,
went
when
out.
you disappeared, we
That
couldn't
was
hear you.
that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm not sure why it made her turn into a lizard.
Because she stepped on it.
But
Hey, listen,
no,
she
I
stepped on a
know.
butterfly
Oh,
and
yeah, and that was the one comment I had. I did forget until you just said that. I'm assuming, and it wasn't explicitly stated, but if they're trying to help new viewers, I think they should have explained. I'm assuming that he still has regeneration energy he's given off, and that's why he could bring the butterfly back to life, but they did not state that. I would have liked to have seen at least like a little bit of the yellow coming out.
I thought there was. I thought I saw
Was
some
there?
yellow. I thought there
Oh,
was just like a hint.
maybe I missed it then.
I
I
could have
don't
been seeing
remember there being,
things,
but
but
I
I thought
have
there
to
was.
assume that that's why he was able to bring it back.
Oh yeah,
I just think
absolutely.
that if they're indoctrinating new viewers, it wouldn't have hurt to give a little
They can
explanation. But
they can give an explanation later.
yeah, but it was
They're-
more meant for a joke, so it's not.
Yeah,
But clearly, I mean, we've said this before. Clearly, they're spending a lot more money on the show now. I mean, we got dinosaurs. Not that we haven't had dinosaurs in the
we've had
past, but
dinosaurs before.
we've had dinosaurs before, but we have dinosaurs and other huge effects all in the same episode.
Yeah.
They've obviously spent a lot on it. But anyway, it was good. Wait and see, what happens next week. But I must be in the TARDIS. I'm time traveling in my head. But overall, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I wish that there was more episodes. I kind of in a way wish they hadn't done 2 in 1 week because we don't have as long. It won't last as long, but there's never enough. So at least to me.
Especially for me who binged the hell out of it for 3-4 months or whatever the hell it was, and then had to stop.
I did that when I watched it. It was I think I was in the middle of Capaldi's season, I want to say, when I did that. I did that too. I watched them all within, I don't think it took me a few months, but but yeah, I did that. I binged through them
I mean,
all.
I am watching from the first Doctor on now, but I'm not going at the same pace.
No, but you're watching the okay. See, I saw I bought I can't think of what it's called now. The first episode you're talking about the first Doctor. I have that DVD that has like the first 2 episodes, so I've seen the beginning of the first Doctor.
Gotcha.
But then after that, I've seen a couple of the fourth Doctor. Like I saw Genesis of the Daleks and a couple things there, and then I didn't really see anything till the newer series, other than the movie. I did see the movie. I'd like to do that and go back, but they're not always easy to find. I think
Tubi
now. I gotta look.
Tubi is where I'm watching them, and they have most of them. They're missing a couple arcs, but for the most part,
I know Daily Motion has a lot of them too. But I want to say the classic series is on BritBox now too. I could be wrong, but I think so.
I think you're right.
So I need to, because that was originally why I started getting BritBox, was because
Let's put it this way.
to go back.
Let's put it this way. There's a couple episodes that I watched where they've lost the video footage, but they still have the audio tracks. So they just put pictures up as you basically listen to the episode.
That's cool. Yeah, I do.
A little bit of a struggle, but I made it through.
Well, did you see you probably, because you joined this late, may not have seen or know about the animation ones.
I do.
Okay,
that's
you do.
Season 3. I haven't seen them yet. I'm on season 2 right now.
Well, I don't remember what season it was. They came out a couple years ago, but when they redid them with the rotoscoping type thing. And
yeah, season 3 has a couple of those.
Yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back and watching them all. It's fun doing that. I love this show. But it's a lot of time investment.
Oh yeah.
It's long.
You don't always have that.
Yeah, definitely not. But
all right. What are we doing now?
Well, we have, do you want to do Dark Matter, or do you want to do what did I say? What else did we have? Dark Matter, Interview with the Vampire.
Interview and Dead Boys.
And Dead Boys. Yeah, Dead Boy Detectives. I did not tweet that. Oops. We're also doing Dark Matter for people who are listening. Which do you want to do? You want to finish up Dead Boy Detectives?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. And as always, if anybody has any comments, even if they're about Doctor Who, we can always go back if you
jump
post
back
them.
for a minute.
So feel free to let us know what you think. So yeah, Dead Boy Detectives. That I really like. I mean, I like the whole show. I know Karen did.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
It's quirky. It's fun. I liked it. I think my favorite. I'm so bad with names. You know me with names, but Nico. Is it Nico? Is that right?
Yeah, Nico.
Nico. I think she's my favorite.
I think mine too. I really like Nico.
So funny. And her stuff with Jenny,
yeah.
Yeah, with her trying to give her a good date. did not end so well, but she tried really hard. Poor Jenny. Did not work.
That annoyed me, actually. it was such a nice thing, Jenny, who's this very, cold, person who's not very outward. I mean, she's basically an introvert, and they're having this nice date. It worked out. I mean, why couldn't they just let her have it? Why did they have to make the character a psycho stalker? Like, really? Like, I don't understand what the point of that was.
No, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, was it just for the laugh later when Charles
Maybe.
sees her on the stairs leading to hell, and she's like, "Where am I? Why am I here?
Yeah,
Because you're
maybe.
crazy."
But now she knows, though, too. I kind of think that was a big part of it. Is now she knows the secret.
Yeah, I
and
like that
talk to
Jenny's
them.
in the. I like that Jenny's in the fold now.
Yeah. Well.
Near death will do that to you, or
The other
demon
character I
demon
like.
possessing you.
Yeah, the other character I like. I hope that they have and they bring back if we have another season. Is the and I can't remember his name, but the walrus guy who owns the store.
Oh yeah,
He's cool. I like him.
yeah, he was fun. I could do without the Cat King.
See, I didn't dislike the Cat King. I don't know why everybody hates the Cat
He
King.
was
I thought
he was annoying.
he was kind of annoying. He was smarmy, but he was like supposed to be. I felt like so it didn't annoy me too much.
Yeah, but he was just annoying. He wasn't even like you can have that character and not have them being annoying. That's the whole thing. He could have been an intriguing character had he not just been annoying. He was like just annoying.
I guess so.
I like that Monty kind of helped in the end, even though he was a crow at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I
Kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I think we all sort of knew that he was going to turn on the witch. At least I had kind of guessed he would. So, yeah. But so, what do you think happened at the end? Obviously, that little.
I think Nico's alive.
Nico, I think she's alive, but she's with those sprites. So, is she little, or are they big, or?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm
there's
curious.
definitely something going on there, which we'll have to wait till season 2. And I feel like I read that it's already been renewed.
Oh, has it? I had read it might not get renewed, so I hope it does.
I can't remember. I read something. I don't remember what it was that I read.
You read something. That's helpful. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little more of, Crystal's history and found out that her parents are awful and that she was a snotty rich girl. She was a mean girl. Though we've seen this story 100 times. We've seen this story 100 times with characters where they lose their memory and they're like this awesome person. Then they find out they used to be like a real jerk, and so we've seen it before.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
I liked the stuff with Despair. I thought that was a good way to introduce her. Definitely see more of her during season 2 of Sandman.
Yeah, probably. Sorry, I was looking at that, get my dark matter stuff ready. I'm trying to think. Was there anything? I don't know if there was anything specific I had left to say because I think we said a lot of it in our.
And I love the fact that the night nurse's plan backfired when she brought down her boss.
Oh yeah, and now she's stuck with them. That's hilarious.
Which I'm very happy about because
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if the night nurse was just going to be in this season, or if Ruthie was going to find a way to continue. So that means that she's going to be around for a while. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is. I like her too. She's funny.
She's a good actress.
Yep. Well, I think that's about it.
I mean, yeah, Dead Boys is pretty straightforward. I mean,
yeah,
I gotta say, actually, I said that the Cat King is annoying, but I really enjoyed the witch. She was a fun villain. I didn't mind. She wasn't one of those villains where it's like, oh my god, just get rid of this villain already. She was entertaining.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty great that it was kind of ironic that it was all she started her witchy ways because of her husband cheating on her, and she became just as bad as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I thought
Well,
that
but
was
I
a
mean,
good.
she was still evil. She didn't. I mean, she may not have wanted to kill kids at the beginning, but it didn't upset her
Well, that's
that
what I
much.
mean. But
So
that's what I'm saying.
no, I know you're
It's
right.
ironic when she was slighted and it turned and she ended up being worse than
Than what she was
what
fighting.
started her down that path.
Yep, yep, definitely.
So
Well, I hope it comes back. I enjoyed it for what it
I
was.
think it will.
Yeah, I think it
Like I
might.
said, yeah.
All right.
So
Do you want to do Dark Matter?
let's get interview out of the way and then we'll
Oh,
talk
you
about
want to do
something
interview?
else.
Okay, well, then we'll do interview with the vampire. That's good. Um, so I don't know. I found this episode kind of boring, if I'm honest.
Me too.
Um, I mean, I get that a lot of it's going to be him seeing Lestat, his vision of him, whatever you want to call it, and that's fine. But there was just a lot of them going across the country and them finding their people, and then like in the end, everybody died anyway. Like, or the vampire that they found killed herself. It kind of like the whole episode didn't really give me anything. I don't know. It just felt long. That's
It's okay. So for you haven't read the books, right?
no, and I haven't seen the movie.
Okay. So I give them credit because this is something that happens in the books. They do make their way across Europe during World War II. It is kind of a somber part of the book, but at least I don't know. On screen, it just didn't play well. Maybe because you can read through it quicker if you get you're reading a book and something's kind of boring, you can kind of skim the words, get the idea of the story until you get to something good. This just oh my god, I didn't think this hour was going to end. I said I was texting you guys and I said in the chat text that I hope they get to Paris soon because I can't take any more of this. Like it was
Yeah.
just really
I had to
drab.
keep rewinding because I kept missing things because I had a really hard time paying attention to it. It was just slow. I mean, you can summarize the whole episode in like a couple sentences, like
That's
which is kind of
boring.
the
One word.
problem. So they should have made that storyline, I feel like, shorter. I did like some of it. Like I like the fact that like he's seeing that when he's telling the story that's helping him remember, and like how he remembered that Claudia did dream and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean a lot of it was a whole like the thing with the why I don't understand why that vampire didn't look human. I guess it was because of the bad blood. I don't know. But that part was interesting, but then they killed him, and then it's like what was like supposed to be a baby vampire, I guess, because she ripped its eyes out, and then that was sad, and it was just like I don't know, it was kind of senseless, like because like I said, they went through the whole thing, and they took the whole episode. She's looking for a vampire, They find one, and then the vampire throws herself into the fire. The end. So it's like nothing came out of it other than they've moved on. So I don't know that episode was necessary, in my opinion.
It has a purpose for what's coming next, I guess, is the best way to say. Because right now Claudia is very discouraged about it and everything,
Yeah.
So when we meet more vampires next week, now that they're in Paris, it's she's gonna. I mean, everything we've seen with Claudia, she kind of goes full force into things. So she's disappointed in the current vampires. So I feel like she meets more vampires, she's going to be like, oh my god, more, and really throw herself into it so that she doesn't have to be sad about the woman that threw herself into the fire anymore.
Yeah, but also obviously she's going to be, you could tell from the preview, she's going to be pissed at Louis, and plus Louis's going to meet Armand at some point.
She's always mad at Louis.
I want to know what happened to Claudia. I know they're probably not going to reveal that for a long time, and I could, probably look it up, but I won't.
Don't look it up.
No, I'm not.
And I guarantee you, it's probably gonna be the finale.
Because I kind of assumed that she's dead, or he wouldn't be telling the story but the way he is. But I don't know. Yeah.
It's probably gonna be the finale. See, I'm still very curious to see how they're going to play this all, because they've changed certain things. I mean, the big thing is this is Daniel's second interview with Louis, so it changes so much, and the fact that Armand is already involved really changes the landscape. So I think what they're doing, which isn't a bad idea. I feel like, because all the Vampire Chronicle books, the first book is Daniel telling the story of Louis. The second book, The Vampire Lestat sees Louis's book and is like, well, I can do better than that. So Lestat writes his own book. And then most of the Vampire Chronicles are written by Lestat.
Does that mean that in the book he isn't dead?
Oh yeah. Wait, did we know he's? Oops.
Well, according to the show right now, he's dead. I mean, I don't know.
I forgot. I thought he came back already.
And to be fair, what happens in the book, but whatever happens in the book isn't necessarily what they're going to do on TV. Right. So that doesn't.
My point of this was, and Armand has a book that Armand writes. My point is, given the way they're giving us the show, I'm almost wondering if Daniel's going to end up writing. They're going to keep the title of the show, Interview with the Vampire, and Daniel's just going to tell us, be interviewing everybody. They're all going to tell Daniel the story throughout, instead of like season 3 becoming The Vampire Lestat, because it's the next novel, and telling that story. You know what I mean? Or giving it a subtitle, or whatever. I feel like they're going to keep Interview with the Vampire and just run straight through with everything in that way. That was my point.
I think that works. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know anything about it to know what you think.
But I mean, I don't see them stretching the first book into 3 seasons. I feel like,
or I take it they're still on the first book then. They're
still on the first book. I mean, there's only 10 episodes, right? So I mean,
I think so. I'd have to look it up, but I think so. I don't know. I'm not watching ahead this time unless I get interviews. Likely I'm staying and watching it with you guys. But I mean, I want to get postmortems, but I don't. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't really know a lot of all the other stuff that's going on behind the scenes that about of what's coming or whatever.
I mean, I don't know everything, obviously, because they're changing stuff. I mean,
I know
they're doing better than the Mayfair Witches. That's all I gotta say.
I like the Mayfair Witches, though.
I loved those books, and they changed too much.
That might be why you don't like it, though. To be fair,
that's exactly why I don't like it.
Right, but I mean, that might be why I do like it, because I haven't read the books, so they can be completely different.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's different, but I don't know. I hope it gets better. I know I liked it last season and enjoyed watching it once I got into it. It's a very, I know and remember that it can be a very involved, I guess, show. Like, it's got a lot going on, and it can get kind of bogged down with it. And this one, I had a really hard time like following it and staying and concentrating with it. I kept rewinding.
One thing I gotta say, the actress that's playing Claudia now, I kind of like her better because she looks younger. So I kind of like that.
She does look younger.
She doesn't look like a teenager, like the first actress, which I kind of like. But don't worry. I mean, this episode, we made it through the first episode, which I gotta say, not the strongest way to start a season. But I gotta believe the next couple episodes you're gonna love.
Yeah, because I hope so.
It's definitely part of the.
Well, if that's a slow part in the book that they wanted to make sure they put in, then I kind of get it, and I'll
just don't start the season with it.
Yes, I agree with that. But
I get why that's where they started. Because where they ended season 1 made sense, and if you're going to put this in, you're going to start.
Well, they also have to catch up the people who made season 1 a little bit too, and get in a place that makes sense. There's always that.
True.
All right.
All right. Dark Matter.
Now, like I had said when you were disconnected, that the interview with the writer and the producer, and also the Jennifer Connelly interview, are up for this on SciFiDivision.com. The other ones with Jimmy Simpson and with I don't know what it is with me lately in names. I swear, like, as I'm getting older and I'm getting stupider. The place, the Edgerton. What's his? Joel. I couldn't think of his first name. Yeah, and the one who plays Amanda. Her name's Amanda, isn't it? Is that right? See, I'm like making up names now.
Who?
I was calling her Amanda, and I don't think that's her name. I don't even know where I got that from. The one that goes with that was his girlfriend in the other universe.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, that I'm dumb, but I'm gonna look it up. I feel so bad when I do that, but sometimes I think I do too many interviews and then my brain gets fried, and that's the problem.
That's fair enough.
Because I keep wanting to call her. I keep wanting to call her the wrong thing, and I hate when I do that.
It's like when you you've done so many of these interviews.
Yeah, her name was Amanda. I was right. It is Amanda. Alice Braga, but she played Amanda.
Yeah. That's what I say. I always get a kick out of that when you're talking about a character, but you're using their actor's name.
Yeah.
And Karen and I are like, who are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Yeah, because I get confused. But anyway, Joel and Alice, that play Jason and Amanda. That interview and the one with Jimmy Simpson is coming, and just not yet because there's some spoilers that I have to either put up after or cut around depending how it ends up going. So,
you know what's really disappointing? When you Google dark matter and the first thing that comes up is the sci-fi show.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Channel. Right.
Subscribe.
No. Yeah. So you might. I can't even look at this dang recap. I put up a recap so I have it in front of me, and it's behind a freaking paywall. I hate these sites.
Oh Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. But so I just want to make sure I don't go too far because I've seen the whole thing.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Yeah, well, I had to. I did the interview. So, the show though, I got to say, I watched it right away.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right.
So I told you and Karen both that Artie read the book and he absolutely loved it. And then when he found out they were making a TV show, he was so emphatic. At the end of the second, excuse me, when we got done watching the second episode, he said he's like, this is great. He's like, this is like page for page out of the book.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's extremely happy with it. And it was funny. He said that Jennifer Connelly was a great casting for the character, and I was like, Jennifer Connelly is a great casting for anything.
For anything, yeah.
However, I tell you what, I don't like her short hair. I don't think I've ever seen Jennifer Connelly with short hair, or at least that short before. I don't like her hair. And then they go and kill the one with the long hair. That's where the season episode 2 ends, is after they shoot her.
Oh, okay. The other version of her. Okay.
I did not see that coming. I was extremely surprised.
I was surprised too.
That they
well,
shot her.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of everybody in this, and a lot of versions.
Well, you know
what?
It's funny actually, because that moment right there, that kind of cements and that kind of like sets the groundwork.
That not everybody. Rules. Yeah.
Well, it's not so much that, but it's like, okay, yeah, Jason, alternate Jason is a jerk because he realizes that what he's missing in life is a family, so he flips places with Prime Jason. So he's kind of a jerk. It's not until
obviously something got him to that point. He's still the same guy. That's what you have to try to remember.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I know. But that's what I'm saying is until they shot Daniela, it was kind of like, okay, what's the story? Does everybody know what's going on? To me, they're the bad guys. You don't just shoot somebody unless you're the bad guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I was definitely. When Dawn shoots her, I was like, holy crap.
But yeah, I think that's the interesting thing though about this is that it starts off with like they're so different, and like this Jason is bad and this Jason is evil and this Jason ripped his life away, but it's the same Jason. It's just what could have happened, and obviously the whole season's about different versions and what could be and
exactly
change, which is the point. I'm just saying I like that.
And what's funny is I was I know it's very different, but I was getting Awake vibes. Still pissed that they canceled that.
Oh, believe me, I'm probably more pissed.
I know. You love Jason. You love Jason Isaacs. I know.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be more pissed than you are. But yeah, it kind of. What I was thinking though of a lot, especially the opening credits, made me think of Counterpart. those credits were
Yes.
so
Yep.
much like Counterpart.
Yes.
I kept thinking of that. But yeah, it
Yeah.
does. I see what you mean, though. It does kind of have an Awake vibe to it too.
It's got
Kinda-
the It's, I mean, it's nothing like Awake really,
No,
but it
it's
just
not. But
I
it's
had that vibe the whole time.
yeah, the alternate reality kind of thing. It's going.
Yeah. But I mean, Counterpart is something obvious to compare it to. But the great thing I like about it is there's no second book. There already said that it's not a long novel, so there's not like it's one season. That's it.
That's cool.
I'm kind of tired of these shows where there's one season and they're like, hey, guess what? There's another season. It's like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching, but I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
When the story's over.
Yeah. It ends, but I what was I gonna say? Do we just see Jason 1 and 2 in this one?
Yes.
And that we only see those two worlds, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think it's any surprise, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say that there's more, and we know that.
Well,
But
I mean, clearly that box can,
yeah. Okay, that's what I was wondering with that. We didn't get to that yet. But yeah, I think that it's cool to see kind of the differences and how they react. But you're right. He thinks that having a family can fix everything. It'll make his life better. And as in any show where people think that, that may not be the case.
One thing I was complaining about was I was like, this guy's been here for years studying the other Jason, so that he can pass off as him. I was like, it would have been nice if he told the other Jason, listen, like he tells him, listen, when you get there, you're going to get confused and things are going to seem out of place. Like, give him more information at least. At least do that much for the poor guy.
Yeah, but if he gave him too much, though, maybe he thought he'd come back after him or try to figure it out, or don't know. But
Well, it also wouldn't have given us the adventure that we had with him running around town.
True. But yeah, I think that it's cool seeing the other version and how things are different. But it does kind of take him a while. He's got to figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah,
bad for him. He doesn't know.
I really like the scene when him and Daniela go into his alternate house and they go into the den and he finds all the notes and everything and he's like, oh my god, he did it, like he did what I stopped doing to have a family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely about
that's the whole point is the path not taken.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the grass is always greener.
Exactly, yeah. And you get to see too how different Daniela's life is in this version where she's not with them and doesn't have a kid.
Yeah.
So it's not just
right.
just
well, now she's dead.
Well,
so.
yeah, there's that.
How much better is her life?
We saw the Ryan in this universe, right?
Yes, we saw both. Yeah, we saw Ryan in both universes. Yeah.
Jimmy Simpson. Yeah. There's more.
Yeah, he was, and he was very downtrodden in the second universe.
Yeah, things didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Did you? No, your son read the book, but you don't know what happens, right?
I have no idea.
You have no idea, because I'll just, without saying or giving anything away, I'll just say I was really surprised the way it ended. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I'm not sure what I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I really like this show. I think it's interesting, but I always like parallel universe stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, it's a fun story. I'm trying to think if there's anything specific. I don't know if there's anything else specific. I mean,
these first two episodes just kind of laid the groundwork, obviously.
Yeah, explaining everything that's going on. Yeah, and he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on and how he can try to get back, which is obviously what the whole season's about, is getting back. So yeah, it's a cool show.
Apple doesn't miss.
Yeah, I know, but it kind of stinks. You guys get like one.
You know what though?
After this, it's hard.
I actually do have something to say about Apple. They canceled Constellation. Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm kind of pissed about that.
I'm shocked because, like I said, when we were texting the other day, that's got to be some kind. I think that's the first show that they've ever canceled after one season.
Yeah, usually they do give it a chance. I'm not sure what the reasoning was. Like I said with Constellation, I didn't feel. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more, but I didn't feel like I had to see what happened. Like it felt like an okay ending to me, which usually doesn't happen when that.
I
I
don't
mean,
feel like
usually
there
I'm
was
the
an
one
ending
that
at all. I mean, I feel like there's
disagrees.
a
But
lot more.
no, there's a lot more than could happen. Yes, but I mean, I was like, it felt like one complete story in a way to me that a lot of times they don't.
Yeah,
So
I felt like that was a chapter.
yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't remember being like super like after I was done with it, I was okay with it from what I remember. But I would have liked to have seen more. I did like that, and I was
It
disappointed.
was a good season ending. It wasn't a good show ending.
Yeah, I was disappointed that they're not bringing it back at any rate.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that. But
So,
what are you
yeah.
gonna do?
All right. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else that's all we've seen this week, right?
Yep,
Or is there something I'm missing?
I've seen Discovery, but that I'll say that Karen and I can double up on that next week.
Okay, sounds good. The only other thing, like I said, I was saying when you were gone, I do watch Reginald the Vampire, but I know you don't watch that, so
No,
I enjoy that show. I like it. It's about angel. Right, this season's about angels coming after the vampires.
well,
So,
that sounds like fun.
yeah, it's a good show. I like it. It's funny. So I have those interviews going up, but I think yeah. I don't think I watched anything. I don't know. It's been kind of a slow week. I feel like with television and everything going on. I don't know.
I feel like we got something else coming soon.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, it feels like we're missing something, and I'm just like blanking. Let me look here. Dates. I mean, Outer Range is coming. I've mentioned that, but that you don't watch anyway. Um, Although I recommended it, got really good. I enjoyed this season. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of it right
Yeah,
now. At least it's
no, I
sticking
guess.
out in my head. I want to go watch Dune 2. I haven't seen it yet. That's the only thing that, and I
I
have
mean,
a film that I
House of,
need to watch.
House of the Dragon season 2 is in about a little more than a month.
Yeah, I never watched past the pilot, so you guys can watch. I could not get into that. I mean I love Matt Smith, but I just couldn't. It was dark, and I didn't really connect with that very well. All right.
Ooh,
What?
that's a new announcement.
What?
In 68 days, Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, I seen a commercial for that. I forgot about that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's definitely recent because it's been a minute since I heard anything about Snowpiercer. I knew that it was
Yeah.
coming. I knew it was finally coming back, but I didn't know where or when. And now I see that it'll be back in 68 days.
Right. Right. And
Awesome.
well, I mentioned before Bridgerton's coming back, but you guys don't watch that.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
Um, Wait, there was something else I was just gonna say, and I just lost my train of thought. Um, oh, Orphan Black Echoes is coming next
Oh,
month.
that's right.
Yeah, you need to watch that when it comes out. It's good.
Oh, no
Like
kidding.
I said before, it starts off a little slow, but I ended up really liking it because I watched it when it was on before it came to the U.S. It's already been on elsewhere, but I'm gonna watch it again because I really liked it. I mean, it's not, the original is the original. It's never gonna match up to that, but I really enjoyed it, and it's different. It's a completely different story. So, all right. Well,
All
I guess that's
right.
it then. Uh, everybody's been quiet tonight. We haven't really
I was
gotten
gonna say,
a
did
lot of
we did
comments.
did
Art
did
is
did,
here.
did we? I was gonna say, did we put Ark to sleep tonight or something? I
I
thought for sure she was
don't
gonna.
know.
I thought for sure she was gonna have comments about Doctor Who. I wonder if she had.
Well,
I wonder if something happened and she had to run away.
no, I don't know. She said good evening at the beginning and then didn't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
So
And then
we hope you're
I
okay,
lost
Art.
power, and then I lost
You
power, and we
lost
lost
power.
Ark.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just been, that's why I said it's been a quiet night. But thank you everybody for listening. We're sorry that it's more
Yes.
of a short show. Like we said, there's no really other shows, and I think when Karen's not here, we go quicker with our recaps because
Well,
it's
yeah.
with three people, we
Yes.
discuss more. Um, so yeah, but next week I believe Karen's going to be back by next week.
Yeah,
she
she'll be
should
back next week.
and we can hear what she thought about Doctor Who too, and then we'll have Boom to talk about as well. So, but yeah, so thank you everybody who listened. Check out the updates on the site as always, and we will see you all again next week. We'll be back.
Thank you, everybody. Good
Yep.
night.
Thank you and good night. Have a good night, AJ.
You too, Jamie.
Okay, good night.